So I don't need to talk to him anymore until that happens. If that happened. When that happens, I don't know. Yes, Joey Hand's out here, by the way.
Got something on your...
He'll make healing kits for you.
I suppose I could whip up something, a few herbs and such. You do know that the best alternative is not to get hurt, right?
Yes,
not to
yes.
say that you go leaping into the path of blaster fire or anything, but I know how you young people get. Here, take it.
Gee, ask for a favour and we get a lecture.
Got something on... How many could you possibly need? Ask me later when you're actually in need and I'm less tired.
Okay, I got the hint. He actually hands out life support packs, which is very useful. And you need to go and put them in a crate. If you don't have any in your inventory, but they're in a crate on the ship, which there's a supply crate back there. God, kids go. Then out of the way. I love them, but out of the way. Then he'll make you more. So that's what you need to do. Right. Let's talk to Jahani.
Yes. What is it?
Is something wrong?
I have been bothered by something of late.
What is it?
I never told you where I came from, did I? Where I grew up as a child? I suppose I was trying to deny what I was feeling.
What?
I have been wrestling with my feelings inside, trying to come to terms with it, but I find I cannot. I must have someone to blame. Someone to blame for the destruction of my homeworld. Someone who is responsible for the death of everyone I have ever known, except those on Dantooine.
You mean?
Taris. It was Taris that the Sith destroyed to try to kill you and your precious Bastila. Taris, my homeworld.
I am sorry, Jahani. I didn't know.
If it were not for you and Bastila, the Sith would have never had reason to destroy that world. It was your fault for being there, and your fault for rescuing Bastila. Without your intervention, the Sith would have had no cause to lay waste to my childhood.
But...
Just let me vent my anger. I need someone to blame. Something. Anything. I hated that world. Yet everything I learned as a child, I learned there. It is as much a part of me as the air I breathe. I have this ache inside me, where all my childhood memories lay, and I find your face there with them. If it was not for you, that world would still exist.
I'm sorry, Jahani. Sorry, calm yourself. Remember the Jedi Code.
There is no emotion. There is peace. I suppose you did what you had to, and it could not have been avoided. The Republic needs you and Bastila. Maybe needs you more than it needed Taris. But it is so hard to lose your entire past. You would not understand.
It'll be alright, Jahani.
Yes. Yes, I suppose it will. As long as we remain focused on our task, it will. I am sorry. I will try not to distract you in the future with my trivial experiences. We should stop for now.
Okay, see if we can talk to her
Yes.
again.
What is it?
Something wrong?
I was remembering Taris.
What about it?
It was a horrible place to have to live. At least in the lower cities where the non-humans tended to get relegated.
We've
Living
been
for
there.
years in a place with no sun, living off the trash dropped from the upper levels, and the meager pay doing back-breaking labor.
And the rancools.
There was always the danger of rakuls coming up from the sewers, or more mundane predators living and working in the area. My family and I struggled each and every day to make something of our lives. But we could only go so far. Taxes from the corrupt government, more fees from the gangs controlling the streets, and whatever was left paying for what food and medical supplies we could afford.
Was it that bad?
With no money to spare for any amenities, even the enclave on Dantooine seems a paradise in comparison. And of course, there was the constant bigotry and hate from the more affluent and human citizens, lording their wealth over us living below. Every once in a while, a rich human would come down through the lower levels with his droid entourage just to see how the wildlife lived, and laughed at the mockeries that were our successes. But I have come to meet many decent humans in my travels since those days. Indeed, some of the greatest people I have ever met are human.
Like who?
The Jedi who encouraged me to join the Order. The one who was with the group going to fight the Mandalorians. She was human. I suppose I see something of her in you when I look... I am sorry. I am getting away from my point. If there even was one. Sometimes I curse the day my parents fled to Taris. But then again, if they had not, I would not be where I am today.
Your parents?
Another story for another time. For now, we must continue our own epic. To save the galaxy, if we can.
Okay, see if there's anything else.
How may I be of assistance?
I was wondering if we could talk.
What is it you would like to speak to me about?
Are you doing all right?
I thank you for your concern, but I am still a bit shaken.
Why? What's wrong?
I have been thinking about myself, about Quatra, and about my fall to the dark side. I keep thinking that it was my anger that drove me that far, that nearly damned me. I look inside myself now and I can still see it. I still feel it.
Perhaps you just need more time.
More time would do me good. Time to distance myself from that anger. I think that is why the Council agreed to send me with you. They think, perhaps, that in your company, I will be able to free myself from it.
If I see you begin to slip back, I will intervene.
I thank you for your concern and your acceptance. I will strive to prove that I am worthy of your company and trust.
Anything else? Meant if we could talk.
What is...
what are you thinking about?
I have been thinking much about our journey, and I am grateful and honored that you have accepted me with you. I am not used to such unbiased acceptance from one who is nearly a stranger to me. We Cathar do not make friends easily, or for long. Even on Dantooine I remained alone. Not ostracized exactly, but separate.
Tell me about your people.
In truth, I have lived in the Republic too long, and I know little. I never met any others of my race other than my parents. But we are not diplomats. We do not deal well with groups. This situation is new to me. It is warming. I feel almost welcome. Needed. You seem to be very decisive when it is required of you. It is reassuring to know that I can count on someone like you.
We're all in this together.
Yes, and that is my point. I find it difficult to explain. It is so different from what I am used to. Just thank you for accepting me.
Okay, I think she said thank you for accepting me but in many different ways about 50 times. Right. Let's go and talk to Carth, maybe, for a bit.
Yes, what's on your mind?
Tell me why you want revenge on Saul so badly.
I already told you, he betrayed us all.
It just seems more personal than that.
Well, there is more to it. I'm sure you don't want to hear about it.
I asked, didn't I?
It's just that I don't talk about it very much, okay? I told you about my homeworld, Telos. 4 years ago, Saul led the Sith fleet there and demanded its surrender. The planet refused, and Saul proceeded to devastate its entire surface. Millions died. I had a wife and a son on Telos. I thought they would be safe there, but my task force arrived too late to be of much help. We didn't have enough medical supplies. The colony was burning and the dying were everywhere. I remember holding my wife and screaming for the medics, but they didn't come in time.
That's terrible. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Of course not, how could you? I had nothing left after that, really. I devoted myself to the fleet. Hunting Saul was my only purpose. I miss them. And I know killing Saul won't bring them back. And it won't make me happy again, but I have to do it. I don't expect you to understand, but I have to pay him back for what he's done. I have to. It's all I have left.
I didn't mean to pry.
Oh, it's all right, I don't mind. You deserve some kind of, explanation.
What happened to your wife? You didn't say.
His name was Dustil. and I don't know what happened to him. The colony was a complete ruin, and we never found any trace of him. I made inquiries and followed the reports from Telos for years, but I stopped. Anyway, that's the story, for what it's worth.
Thank you for telling me.
I've, never talked about it before to anyone. Suppose it's time I finally did.
Hey!
Yes, what's on your mind?
Okay, right.
You got it.
So that's all those sorted. I know this whole talking bit is a bit boring, but, you know, we want to get as much backstory sorted as we can. Where do we want to go?
Yeah, what do you want?
Oh, just wondering if you had any more war stories.
I don't have as many strange stories like the last one I told you, but I do have a couple about me and the stuff I've done. In one battle above the world of Althir, my unit managed to defeat a force of Althiri 10 times our own size. That battle gained me command of an entire subsect of my clan.
Tell me the story.
For 5 days, they had managed to hold off our forces, keeping us to the outer rings of their world, preventing us from attacking it directly. My task was to assault one of their flanks with a false attack. The Althiri would be drawn out by the units I had sent in. Once they had surrounded those units, the bulk of my forces would attack from the rear and defeat them in detail.
Did it work?
Things didn't go as I had planned. I saw an opening, a mistake they had made in the disposition of their forces, and took it. While fending off our main force, they had let their fleet split in two. The center of their entire fleet was left exposed. I turned my forces and assaulted the center of their fleet, decimating them.
You were a great warrior, Canderous.
Their slow, ponderous ship could not turn to face us without being overwhelmed. The command vessels were destroyed in seconds. Their ranks were thrown into chaos. It was amusing to watch the surviving ships scatter and flee. Several even tried to dive through the plane of the rings to escape us. They were shredded by the rings, or crashed into rocks, or were destroyed by our forces as we pursued them. Warriors do not flee from a battle if they are losing. They fight to the end, as we did against your Jedi Revan. Another time, maybe, I'll tell you about how the war with the Republic went. For now, let's just get on with things. Is there something else you want to know?
No, I'll be fine for the moment.
Your choice.
Okay, so we've found out a bit more about Canderous. Bastila, we have stuff, there's stuff we still need to do, with regard to her mother, and mission, we've got to do that, so the only one that's left is actually Jolee, I think. And, of course, we can't do anything with Zalba, because he's currently occupied. And I'm getting lost around here. What the hell is that? Complete circle and completely missed the medical bay. Oh, there's even a Gizco in
Got
here.
something on your mind, do you?
Oh, right. Actually, he doesn't have anything to say.
Oh,
So we're moving out. Actually, we're not. I'm going to leave the video there. And in the next video, we will clear up any other little bits we've got in the Wookiee village. Then go back down. Sort the chieftain, sort out Freya and the Great Beast and get the Sword of Baka. And then deal with that and get off to our next destination. So, ta-ta for now. See you soon.